Hey, what's this?
Well, this is the top 10 things we want to see in The Force Awakens.
Welcome to Dumb Guys Talk About Smart Stuff.
So we just had handed to us by a mysterious cloaked figure the top 10 things we want to see in the upcoming movie, Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, we'll see how much we agree on this, but Barry, what do you think of number 10?
Number 10 is Carrie Fisher making a good showing and not looking like a mess. This is going to be tough because she looks like a mess right now in real life.
Yeah.
But
yes.
I think the behind-the-scenes footage that they just released, she looked pretty good.
She did look good now. I thought some red carpet stuff looked kind of scary. Like she looked like starting to look Joan Rivers-ish with some plastic surgery.
Yeah, she does look like she had plastic surgery or something like that. But I think she's going to pull it off. I think they're going to do a good job. So
maybe they'll limit her role a little bit.
I think they probably will, just as they will all the returning characters, but her probably the most.
Yes. Now, we got number 9, like no Jar Jar, of course.
Of course.
Like, we don't even want him mentioned. I don't know if we do even want to mention to say, like, he died.
Well, I was just going to say, like, what if you see Jar Jar, but his head is on a spike?
Ooh.
Are you going to be cool with that? Or do you want The Force Awakens to pretend he never existed?
I kind of think they probably will pretend he never existed. Maybe just never mention him. But they might just, what if they do a little callback like that? I don't know if they want him to or not. I also included this one, no silly childish humor, which the prequels obviously did this a lot. They had some little jokes that they obviously aimed towards kids.
The prequels did it a lot. I mean, they even had some of that in the original trilogy.
Which Ewoks is the classic example.
Yeah, but not as much. It seemed to be very much more kid-focused in the prequels than it was in the original trilogy. And I think the way that The Force Awakens looks right now, it looks dark, it looks gloomy, it looks like almost Empire Strikes Back-ish in the darkness. I don't think they're going to go childish.
No song numbers like
they
added to Jedi.
Right. They're not going to ruin Jedi in The Force Awakens.
I hope not. All right, now here's an interesting one, like the reappearance of an old character like Boba Fett or Lando.
Yeah.
Or pretty much anyone, just to call back like a nice...
Any of those classic characters.
Yeah, like the non-Jedi type characters. A lot of people want Boba Fett, and he appeared in all 3 with the special editions of the original movies, and he was a child in the prequels.
And he appeared in Clone Wars. Was he in Sith? I don't think he was.
Revenge of the Sith.
I don't think he made it. He was a kid in Attack of the Clones.
He was in Attack of the Clones part of it.
Yeah, and he was in Clone Wars also.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I'm good with that with Lando. I'd love to see Lando. I don't know if he's coming back for this one. But also, and what I think has been already revealed, is that we're going to see General Akbar. Maybe he's not a general anymore.
Yeah.
We're going to see Ningnom.
Ningnom, which was Lando's co-pilot.
Yeah, right.
That's one of those, you got to be a real nerd to know that name. Yeah. All right, moving on, and this is kind of in the same light, is the Force Ghosts. And now you could bring back almost any Jedi since Qui-Gon with this one, because supposedly he's the one that learned how to do this.
Right.
And, you know, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, Anakin.
It would be interesting. Obi-Wan would be harder to do, because you would have to do either Ewan McGregor, or you'd have to do some kind of special effects with Al Guinness.
Yes, which they actually did that in Superman Returns. They brought back Marlon Brando with deleted scenes and old footage, things like that. And that would be a really interesting thing if they were able to do that.
And then they did the whole Tron Legacy thing where they made Jeff Bridges look young.
And actually we saw Ant-Man last night, and they did that with Michael Douglas, and it looked pretty good.
Really?
And they did it with Schwarzenegger in Terminator Genesis. And it's starting to look better and better.
Wow. I don't know if I want to see that, though. To me, it seems almost like a gimmicky kind of thing right now. So I would rather see Qui-Gon would be an interesting one.
He would. That would be an interesting callback.
Yeah, because he was the one that Dooku claimed he would be on their side, like and things like that. Like he was torn between good and bad. He might be an interesting one.
Yeah, that was.
See come back.
Yeah, and the motivation there, would be to teach the next generation to continue talking to Luke Skywalker, which I think Yoda and Obi-Wan would kind of fit that mold.
Absolutely. I believe Qui-Gon came back in the new Rebels episode.
Oh, did he?
I believe his Force Ghost was there in one of those episodes.
His Force Ghost was in some Clone Wars.
I might be getting the two confused, but his Force Ghost has appeared at one point in the canon.
Yeah, it appeared, I think, in a couple times in Clone Wars. Once went to Yoda, and once kind of like as a hallucination to Obi-Wan.
Yeah. That might be what I'm thinking of. But anyways, any which way, you bring back any of those guys, I think it's going to be cool, except for Anakin. I don't agree with Anakin. I don't want to see Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything else you could do there.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's the last one on my list, and I kind of added it just as like could almost be in the Vader suit to make it look a little better.
And that's what I was gonna say. I would like that to be Vader. But I don't think we're gonna see a Force Ghost of Vader. But that's the only way I would be okay with Anakin coming back.
All right, so what do we got here for number 6? I put here a new world spaceship or something that further expands the universe. And this is something like almost every Star Wars movie has its new planet that they go to, that they introduce.
And we know that Force Awakens is gonna have that with Jakku or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, and isn't there some rumors that like the base that they launched the attack on the first Death Star is gonna be featured, which is like that forest kind of planet.
Yeah, like a foresty, maybe snowy mountain planet. Yeah, there's some of that going on.
And it's obvious that there's the desert.
Yeah, exactly.
That's in all the previews.
There's going to be new spaceships. There are going to be adjustments made to existing spaceships. I know the TIE fighters are a little bit different. The X-wings, I think, were altered a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll probably see some new walkers if they have any of that going on.
Yeah, it seemed like the TIE fighters we saw had a chromey reflective kind of look to them.
Yeah, yeah. They look kind of cool though.
All right, where are we at? We're at number 5. Now here's kind of a debatable one. I threw it in here anyways. Number 5 is older stories being added to canon or expanded on. Characters like Darth Bane, Revan, Plagueis, or General Boss.
So you're talking about expanded universe that got wiped clean, and now you want to bring some of that back.
Yeah, or like I believe Bane and Plagueis and Voss are going to be part of canon, but their huge expanded story isn't yet.
Right. Yeah. So they got plugged in as like Easter eggs into the prequels and Clone Wars, but you want to see that expanded.
Yeah. Yeah, and it might be a good storyline if you're good, which is a future number here. So if you're going to raise up a new Sith Lord, maybe go into the history of the Sith a little bit and explain Bane, and those sorts of things.
Well, I really like Plagueis. I thought Plagueis is a good character. I got about halfway through the book, but he was really intriguing and interesting.
Halfway through a book is good enough for our channel.
I mean, dude, that's what dumb guys do.
Yeah, they are. All right, number 4, a good cliffhanger or story that will make me want to see Episode 8 and beyond.
Now, do you want Empire Strikes Back level of cliffhanger here?
The whole, Luke's hands cut off, what happened to Han, all that. I don't know if you necessarily need that much, but you definitely got to make these new characters good enough to say, like, once we stop seeing Han and Luke and all those, there's still something to see.
Yeah, we're definitely going to want to see what happens in Episode 8. And we need to be intrigued for that.
Yeah, and see, like, my concern isn't that Episode 7 is going to be good. It's that the Star Wars that come after, once they stop having the old characters, will continue to be good.
Right. You know what would intrigue me? And we saw a little clip of this in the trailer, is when Darth Vader's helmet appears. What if that's like the last scene of Episode 7, where they're like, someone reveals Darth Vader's helmet, and it's like, what?
That'd be really interesting if that's in the teaser, that final scene.
Right.
Which would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to number 3, and this is huge in the Star Wars universe.
It's giant.
Is a new villain, awesome villain like Vader.
Darth Vader was the epitome of all awesomeness when it comes to villains. He's the biggest bad guy. The Emperor is a close second even.
He is.
He was really good.
He was very intimidating and almost like you had that unbeatable type of atmosphere around him.
He was so cocky and so, hateful.
Yeah, and so we've seen some teasers of like Andy Serkis's character, and it's not real confirmed what he is. I think they said in an article what his name is.
Yep.
But
Supreme Leader Snoke.
Snoke, I've heard some kind of calling themselves leaks, saying he's like a Sith that could have been even pulling Palpatine strings all along.
Interesting.
And it'd be interesting if they went that deep with the storyline.
And that would be kind of a tie back to maybe like a Plagueis thing, because as we know, Plagueis and Palpatine have a connection. Plagueis was playing around with, immortality, and we know Plagueis was murdered by Palpatine, which is not canon. So that could all be changed, and we can see a connection there. So that might be interesting to see.
And then there's also Mr. Cross Lightsaber, Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren,
which is kind of, he looks almost like in these trailers like a hunting type character, like he's after somebody.
Yeah, you know what? When they first revealed that, he was a lot more intimidating because you didn't see his face. He was cloaked. You don't know what's under there. You don't know if you're going to see a robot looking like cyborg, half Darth Vader type of guy or what. And now you've seen other footage where he's walking out and he's just got his cloak off. and now he just looks like a dark Jedi kind of, Sith, like human Sith, creeper dude.
Yeah. Well, and also the look of him is kind of a callback to those video games with Darth Revan, with the mask, the hook, the hood over the mask.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just, when they first saw those pictures, they thought it was like fan art of Revan, and then they realized that it actually was Kylo Ren.
Yeah. So it is going to be very important to have a good villain. We need some force in the universe that we're going to be afraid of.
Yes.
That these new individuals are going to be afraid of, because Darth Vader and the Emperor were that in the past. And now
Yes.
they need something.
I think that would be critical to number 4, which is the make you want to see. Like, you got to see how they're going to beat this new villain.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So moving on to number 2.
Number 2.
Which is a well-written Han Solo, either a good farewell or a handing over the torch. This one's pretty critical.
This one is extremely critical and sensitive.
It is, and he had the best written dialogue, I think, of the characters in the prequels. And so you've got to kind of match that.
Not counting Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not the prequels, but the original.
Yeah, like his dialogue and stuff in like Empire was very good.
Yes, Empire was really good. Absolutely. And so I guess it comes down to also, does he die?
Does he die? And I know there's a lot of contention here. When I hear those stories of how like Han Solo wanted to kill him off in Return of the Jedi,
right.
I was almost like, when I heard that, I was like, well, why didn't they do it? That would have made Jedi so much better, I think. Because I thought like he was so good in Empire, but not that great in Jedi.
He wasn't very good in Jedi. I think the writing wasn't as good in Jedi. It was kind of more cheeky in Jedi.
Yeah.
It was more happy-go-lucky Han. And but I don't know if he needed to die there. It's really hard to kill off such a major character. But I don't know. This might be the time. He might have come back with that clause that says, "Look, I'll come back for one more, but you got to kill me. You got to kill Han."
Yeah. Well, there's rumors of the anthology film with him. And another actor taking his place, him in his younger days. And to me, it would kind of add an interesting air to that anthology film. Like, you're seeing him at a younger age, but in the previous movie, you just saw his death. And it'd be kind of an interesting angle, I think.
Maybe.
The most debatable part might be, does he die?
That is extremely... That's going to split the Star Wars fandom. If he dies, some people might not be able to get over that.
They might not. What if they do a really weird twist, like Luke kills him or something like that?
I mean, and that would be one of those cliffhangers going back a few numbers here that, perhaps something like that happens. You don't know if Han's dead.
Yeah.
At the hand of Luke Skywalker or at the hand of
Kylo Ren.
Whatever.
Which, spoiler, a leak we saw was Kylo Ren kills him. Which, I mean... it's a leak I don't believe.
Yeah. No spoilers here.
Yeah. But anyway, Han's, you played him as a kid. Like, when you're our age, you played him as like a 5-year-old kid.
I mean, I was Luke Skywalker as a kid, and I always killed Han Solo, but whatever. He was my buddy, and he got back up again.
Yeah. So anyway, like, at least for people our age, that character is so important.
Yeah.
You gotta do him right. If you spoil him, it's like it could kind of...
It could ruin the original trilogy. It could ruin... I mean, just like how Hayden Christensen's performance kind of tainted Darth Vader in the original trilogy, you could do that.
Yeah, so no pressure, J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, exactly.
You're only going to ruin my childhood. Anyway, and number 1, Luke Skywalker.
This is a big one right here.
Yes. And
another returning character.
It is.
Another critical piece of making this new venture into the Star Wars universe work.
Yes, and there's an old interview with George Lucas where he does say Luke Skywalker becomes like the most powerful Jedi ever.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting if they follow that line. And also you want to see where's he been the last 30 years.
Where's he been? What's he been doing? What has he learned in that time? I want to see him be a badass.
Yes.
I want to see him... I don't know, man. I wouldn't even be against him like shooting lightning out of his fingers and being that powerful and having that kind of control over it to where he's still a Jedi and not a Sith.
Yeah. Yes, and it'd be interesting where he's taken the whole Jedi Order.
Right. Or if he's done anything with it. I mean, there's still, according to everything we've seen so far, the war's not over. This has been a 30-year war, if not longer, with the freaking Empire, or now, what are they called? They're called the First World Order, or First... whatever.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. So, I mean, has he even had time to build a new Jedi Order?
Yeah. Does he have an apprentice? Is there a backstory? Something like, his apprentice turned to the dark side?
Right.
There's so many different twist they could take
Yeah,
there.
I think that he's going to find his apprentice in this movie.
Yes, and you know, you see Daisy Ridley, you see John Boyega. Could be one or two, one or both of them are apprentices.
Perhaps both of them are Force sensitive, which is what brought them together. There is word that John Boyega's character is Force sensitive.
I think he said something at Comic-Con where he said his character does have a lightsaber in the movie.
Yeah,
at one point.
That tells you something. No, not just anybody can wield a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's our top 10.
There it is. That's the top 10 things we want to see in The Force Awakens. I'm sure there's a lot more. I want to hear what you have to say, so put it in the comments.
And should Han die?
Should Han die? That's the big question. Should Han die? Tell us. I want to know. All right?
Signing out.
Dumb guys out.